Point taken. Mr. Salve is amused with that argument. Mr. Salve, coming to you. Abhinandan Sikri is joining us from Ramlila grounds. Abhinandan from Team Anna. Team Anna has nominated Mr. Abhinandan Sikri to come on Times Now this evening. Abhinandan, where is this heading? And my question to you is, I saw Anna Hazare say, "Lao ya jao." Lao ya jao. Now, is that too extreme a position to take? Because the position is, yes.
Yeah, we need to be clear about, there is a slogan and there are the technicalities that are discussed. I'm hearing a lot of the movement where they take a slogan and they use that as a technicality, and often a technicality is used as slogan. Lao ya jao is a slogan to encourage all these people you see around. They are not here because of clause 19(1) and clause 250(a). They are here for Lao ya jao. Of course, finally the debates happen, it is nuanced. But I'm amazed at people who expect a mass movement to be nuanced. Have you ever heard of a nuanced mass movement? Fine, the final draft must be nuanced. But there are various levels at which a revolution happens. It happens with metaphors, it happens with symbols, it happens with slogans, and a narrative of why it happened. This is the perfect storm. Everything has fallen into place at this time. And Lao ya jao is a slogan, and yes, I stand by that slogan. But are you saying that is the clause we're going to put, that the demand will have Lao ya jao?
Okay, I don't know. See, okay, I want to translate that. I want this debate to continue between Abhinandan Sikri and Harish Salve, who's also got equal views. And let me tell you, Mr. Salve, let me tell you this. I want the argument made by Mr. Sikri, who's joining us from Ramlila, says, do you expect a mass movement to be nuanced? Lao ya jao is a slogan. Is a slogan that we have been forced to raise. I want your response to that. Abhinandan, you're listening on to Mr. Salve.
I will.
Go on.
I will not respond to this. If you want to discuss the downsides of the Jan Lokpal bill, I am happy to discuss. I am not a politician and I don't want to stoop to discussing sloganeering and its pros and its cons. I'm sorry.
Okay, so you are not willing to engage in...
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, okay, 1 minute. Everyone has a right to take a position. Mr. Salve has a right to say, I don't want to discuss this particular slogan, and I agree, he is not a politician. Right. Abhinandan Sikri, Mr. Salve is willing to debate the more essential arguments here right now. Now, let me spark this debate off between you and the other side and Mr. Salve. There's one argument which says...
I have a take here.
You have a take to Mr. Salve. Go on, yes.
I have a take.
Go on.
I have a take, Arnav.
Go on, Mr.
I have a take.
Mr. Chandrasekhar. He can hear you.
It is something that what I want to make a point is, even couple of minutes ago, when Annaji was speaking live to you on your channel, he was saying that we are open to discussion and we are not taking any position. Now you tell me who is taking positions here. Be honest. Who is taking position? Is any government representative came to discuss with Annaji? Are any Anna team members, they have made any efforts to contact them? It is ridiculous.
I think the government is clueless. They have no idea what to do.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking you, Mr. Salve.
Clueless.
What is the government doing?
Yes, I got.
Okay, so Mr. Salve,
exactly.
I take a position.
This is what I've been saying.
1 minute, Mr.
This is exactly what I am saying.
So that's
government is clueless for what?
No,
why?
Sir, no, sir. Governments, Mr. Salve, are meant to reach out. You have a situation. You can't go into a shell and pretend it's not happening. It will fizzle out. Yes, Mr. Salve. Let Mr. Salve respond.
Arnav, it is government which took the position.
It is?
Arnav, it is government took the position, not the Annaji. Annaji is flexible. He made a public statement that we are willing to discuss.
That's true. It was, Mr. Salve, I think you heard that. Yes, go on. Go on, Mr. Salve.
Arnab, I want to say something.
What worries me, Arnab,
yes,
that this wonderful government of ours will finally allow this protest and will handle it so magnificently that finally they will have to accept the Jan Lokpal bill, and which will be a very dark day.
They already did it.
The whole problem has been created by this government.
They are handling it wonderfully.
Exactly.
Let Mr. Salve respond, Mr. Chandrasekhar. Yes.
Yeah, I am responding. First of all, they go and arrest Anna, which is...
go ahead.
To call it unconstitutional is very mild. It is downright stupid, apart from being dictatorial.
Ruthlessly undemocratic, you say.
Well, all these adjectives are mild to describe what the government
And
does. Apart from being monumentally stupid.
Mr. Salve, even during the Britishers' days, and freedom fighter was not picked up from his house at 5:30. Please.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, let me remind you, we have imposed on ourselves the emergency. British never did that to us. In 1975, we imposed emergency on ourselves and killed our democracy for 19 months. So India's capacity to destroy itself is...
I fully agree with you.
And our governments have done it from time to time.
I agree with you. I agree with you, Mr. Salve, but at the same time, when we are living in a world biggest democracy, today we are in such a situation where a person who wants to make a peaceful protest, he is picked up from his house, and that is too without telling any reasons, detained, and even Home Minister says, Honorable Home Minister says, I don't know where is he.
1 minute. You see, now we are going back into the past. I actually want to go into the future.
Okay.
I want to move this
Correct,
discussion
Mr.
into
Chandrasekhar,
how can we resolve this?
Exactly.
Future
I am not...
Future is very
clear.
1 minute, Mr. Chandrasekhar. I'm taking a round of views starting with Mr. Salve. Yes.
Let me state a few things very clearly so that the debate doesn't get blurred.
Yes.
I am completely for a protest against corruption. I am completely for a protest against government lethargy in bringing in the Jan Lokpal bill. I am completely against a feeling of revulsion. I have had it on your channel. You know I have expressed it when our political friends attacked me saying, Mr. Salve, you live in an ivory tower.
Yes.
I am very happy to show them that, well, if I live in an ivory tower, maybe a few more crore Indians like me also live in ivory towers, and they dislike you chaps as much as I do. So these things I'm very happy about. What I am not happy about, and which is what I feel we need to discuss amongst ourselves, hell with the government, is don't we need some changes in the Jan Lokpal bill? When the first movement happened, I remember Arvind Kejriwal said, we must sit and discuss the bill. I have some misgivings, but
this is a strong argument you have. Mr. Salve, you have a strong argument there. You have a strong argument there, and I must say you have a strong argument. The Jan Lokpal bill is not the last and final piece of brilliant legislation.
Let us discuss amongst ourselves before we say things like government must pass it in 48 hours.
1 minute. I'm going to Prashanto say the Parliament, Mr. Chandrasekhar, the Parliament.
Why?
Okay, now, Mr. Chandrasekhar, allow me please to go to another point. The Parliament of India must be given a legitimate opportunity to debate a bill that has captured the nation's imagination. Otherwise, questions will be raised. Prashanto, it's over to you.
Absolutely, the Parliament should be given an of course, I'm saying opportunity, I am myself getting carried away. Parliament has to debate this bill. If you do not believe in these institutions, what's the alternative? A Khap Panchayat? A fascist regime? You need the Parliament. The Parliament has to debate it. Now, for example, as Mr. Salve pointed out, is the Jan Lokpal going to stand in the present form as it is? Certainly not, as Arunabh you rightly said.
Then what's the problem, Prashanto?
Grievances. Now, what pains the common man the most is day-to-day corruption. 500 rupees here, 1,000 rupees there, construction problems, this, that. The Lokpal, considering the nature of problems, the number of problems, Lokpal alone as a single body cannot take care of those problems. Today, the Lokayukt in Karnataka has 56,000 pending cases. Now, that's the kind of scale we are talking about.
That is
can one single Lokpal take care of this whole thing?
That is so
in Hyderabad. One minute. That is so spot on whether this present Jan Lokpal is practical or not.
Prashanto,
and it certainly isn't on many.
Prashanto, I find it so interesting that a young, bright lawyer like you and one of the most wizened and experienced legal minds in our country, Harish Salve, are making the same point. So I'm saying the same thing, Mr. Salve. Reach out, bring it in Parliament, and end the protest.
1 minute. First of all, people should stop saying things like this bill should be tabled on 28th and passed on 29th or else. I mean, I'm sorry, if it will not happen anyway. Then it's no different from a political
I want Abhinandan.
speech.
Abhinandan.
And this is what puts off people like us.
It will not happen, Mr. Salve.
Abhinandan, Mr. Salve. Abhinandan, Mr. Salve
like this
says
should
that.
not even be said.
Mr. Salve says, don't set these timelines. Don't set these unrealistic timelines. Abhinandan.
Secondly, Arnab, I have a second positive suggestion to make.
He's standing in a crowd,
I have a second suggestion to make.
Arnab, if there is any delay, it is from the government
suggestion to make.
1 minute. Can I get a response to your first suggestion? A response to your first suggestion from the movement itself. Mr. Sikri, go on. Don't set unrealistic timelines, says Mr. Salve.
I heard what Mr. Salve says, and it's a rational position, it's a rational point of view. There is a context to this. I don't want to get into the background. It's going to get really, long and complicated as far as the decisions that the government has made from time to time. It does make me and others doubt their integrity and honesty, but okay, fine. There need not be an or else, but has the government responded to Arvind's offer saying, tell us where we should meet, who we should meet and when we should meet? When the government says, okay, here's who you meet, this is when you meet, then one can look at that position. But what I'm saying is, right now, from up here, how can an announcement be made that, okay, this is the climb down, that is, the climb downs or the negotiations happen on a different platform? Like Mr. Salve didn't want to discuss crass sloganeering that you see behind me.
No,
I can crass slogan.
Now let Mr. Salve respond.
Has the
Abhinandan,
government
let him respond to you. Abhinandan, let him respond to you.
Okay.
Let Mr. Salve respond to you. One by one, gentlemen.
Arnab,
Mr. Salve is responding now.
Arnab,
1 minute. Mr. Salve is responding to the member from India Against Corruption. Yes, go on.
The government's way of dealing with this protest is what has strengthened this protest.
Okay.
If slogans like this will weaken this protest, people like us feel, look, what is there? Then you have an unreasonable and insensitive government on one side and you have an unreasonable group on the other. Please, the beauty of this protest is it is for the first time middle class India has come on its feet and said, we've had enough.
Sorry, I will not agree with you. The other way, we are not rigid. We are open to discussion. We have not taken any positions. We have been making it very clear
so please
that we are ready for a negotiation. The doors are open.
Please repeat that over and over.
Make an intervention.
Okay, Prashanto is making an intervention.
Please don't give mixed messages.
Arnab, I want to say something.
Prashanto is making intervention. Go on, Prashanto.
Yeah, intervention. It's like this.
I want to say something.
Something as important as the important as the Lokpal bill. If you have to discuss, it's not just a question of when and where to meet and start discussing it. There's a prescribed procedure. Let's follow that procedure. Let's have a thorough debate on it. Go into it in depth. Go look at what other countries are doing. Extensively debate it in Parliament.
Sir,
and one thing which definitely this movement is doing is that it is going to make sure that the Parliament does concentrate on this bill.
But
and
it is government which messed up. It is government which messed up, my dear sir.
There are a lot of impracticalities.
It is government which messed up.
It can't stand like this, and that should come out in the debate. And the proper forum which has been set up, as I said, in the Parliament, let it take place there. If you're not happy with it, get another regime, get a fascist regime,
it must be said.
That's the way to do it.
2 points must be said, Abhinandan, to everyone. The Parliament is certainly supreme. The Constitution is supreme. Falli Nariman said Parliament is Constitution comes first.
Absolutely.
We, the people, comes first. Now, 1 second. I want to go to Rahul Bharti. I wanted to make a point when Mr. Salve was speaking. Rahul in Chandigarh, quickly, before I move on.
But
Rahul.
Yeah, I want to say this thing, like, first of all, who created Anna? Because, people don't have any access to against the corruption. That is the reason Anna has been created. Now, government has to look forward to this thing. There is some problem. That is the reason Anna has been created.
Okay.
First of all. Secondly, now people are suffering at a corruption at a local level. Now, they have not been able to find any place where they could go and raise the voice against corruption. Third thing, people want accountability and they want some fear in the system, because when you hire somebody in your house also, you want the accountability of that person who has been hired as a servant. Now, these people, the politicians or the people who are in the system, they are the servants, they are the government servants. People are looking out for something, some accountability, and they have not been able to find anything.
Okay, argument
that is the reason Anna has been the face of all the people.
Rahul.
That is the reason they have been able to connect with Anna.
Strong argument. And Harish Salve tonight, who has come on Times Now after a long time, I must say, Mr. Salve has strong views on this entire movement and disagrees. And that's what Mr. Salve, I'd say you disagree with the fact that this is getting coverage, and I respect you for it. But let's hear all voices tonight. So Mr. Salve, don't go away. People of India are hearing what you're saying.
But if he disagrees, it does not matter.
No, but
people have taken this in a stronger way.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, our view at Times Now is every voice must come out. Like we say on corruption, every skeleton must come out. We believe every voice must come out.
I
so
fully
I want
appreciate.
to go to the news hour.
I fully appreciate
tonight. Mr. Chandrasekhar, I want to begin by saying tonight, I'm going to come back to this debate, that this is not a movement which is showing signs of immediately fizzling out. One explanation of this is that the government, that the government has messed up. Far from it, far from in fact.
And 100% it is true.
Mr. Chandrasekhar.
Arnav, it is not going to die down. The more the delay, the more the damage to the government.
Yeah, understood. Let me now thank all my guests at this point. Mr. Harish Salve, stay on with us, please. This movement, which we are seeing today, and we are going to go live to Ramlila grounds in just a minute. This movement is growing by the minute. The longer the brinkmanship continues, the longer that Anna Hazare fasts, the greater the crowds, and it seems the more resolute their faith that this is the great moment of change.